Sophia awoke that Monday morning as she had so many times before. The shrill sound of the alarm clock slicing through the silence of her still dark room, the familiar weight pressing on her shoulders, and that resigned sigh that always accompanied her first moments of consciousness. Through the window of her 20th floor apartment, the lights of the sprawling city still shimmered against the gradually brightening sky, like artificial stars trapped in an eternally urban firmament. As she prepared her automatic breakfast, a cup of black coffee and a slice of whole-grain toast, her thoughts wandered through the same familiar loop of worries and anxieties. The project she needed to finish by the end of the week, the rent, increase coming next month, the increasingly distant dream of starting her own business. It felt as though life was happening somewhere just out of her reach, while she remained trapped in an invisible cage of self-imposed limitations. But this would not be a Monday like any other. On a crowded subway ride to work, a man with graying hair and strikingly bright eyes sat down beside you. In his hands was a book whose title immediately caught your attention: The Matrix of Reality by Jacobo Grinberg. What unfolded next would forever alter your understanding of the power of the human mind and the laws that govern the universe. Sometimes, the man said, noticing your interest in the book, life presents us with exactly what we need to learn, precisely when we are ready to learn it. His name was Miguel, and he was no casual reader of Grinberg's work. He was a devoted scholar of human consciousness and its untapped potentials. During that subway ride, which seemed to stretch both minutes and hours simultaneously, Miguel shared with Sophia the foundations of Grinberg's theory of hollow movement. He explained how our reality is fundamentally a projection of collective consciousness, and how each individual possesses the power to influence this projection through the conscious alignment of thoughts, emotions, and actions. "Consider this," Miguel explained, his eyes gleaming with an intensity that seemed to light up the entire train car. Grinberg discovered that the reality we experience isn't as solid or fixed as we believe. It's more like an ongoing dance of energy and information, a dynamic matrix that responds to our intentions and expectations. The secret isn't just in wanting something, but in aligning your entire being with what you wish to manifest. Sophia felt something stir within her, an ancient memory, perhaps, of a knowledge that had always been there, waiting for the right moment to surface. Miguel's words resonated with a truth she recognized on a level deeper than intellect. By the time she reached her destination, Sophia carried not just a new number in her phone and the promise of more conversations with Miguel, but also a seed planted in her consciousness, the understanding that the reality we experience is far more malleable than we've been led to believe. That night, as she lay in bed, Sophia reflected on how she had spent years believing her dreams were nothing more than impossible fantasies, when in truth, every desire in her heart could be an invitation from the universe to create something new. Grinberg's theory on the holographic nature of reality suggested that every part contains the whole, and thus each individual carries within themselves the potential to access and influence the entire field of existence. Sleep came differently. That night, not as an escape from reality, but as a portal to new possibilities. As she drifted off, Sophia began to realize that true awakening doesn't happen only in the morning, but in the moment we decide to open our eyes to the infinite possibilities that exist beyond our perceived limitations. In her dreams, images of a different life began to take shape. Not just vague wishes, but clear and vibrant visions of real possibilities. And so, without yet realizing it, Sophia had taken the first step on her journey of transformation, the awakening of consciousness to her own creative power. The week after the encounter on the subway, Sophia began attending a small study group, led by Miguel in a quiet room in the city center. It was there that she was introduced to the concept of multisensory visualization, a practice that goes far beyond simple, positive thinking or creating superficial mental images. Effective visualization, Miguel explained, engages all your senses and your entire being. It's not just about seeing what you desire, but feeling, hearing, smelling, and even tasting the experience in your mind with such clarity that your brain and nervous system begin to respond as if it were already real. Sophia learned that this process had solid scientific foundations. Neuroimaging studies had shown that the brain does not clearly distinguish between a lived experience and one that is vividly imagined. When we visualize something with sufficient intensity, we activate the same neural circuits that would be engaged in an actual experience. During the practical sessions, Sophia began to develop her own visualization technique. Closing her eyes, she didn't just see her digital marketing consultancy office, a dream she had long held close, but she also felt the gentle touch of the keyboard beneath her fingers, heard the lively murmur of her creative team discussing projects, noticed the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling the air, and experienced the profound satisfaction of seeing her clients achieve transformative results. Miguel introduced exercises based on Grinberg's studies on the syntax of reality, the idea that our thoughts and emotions follow specific patterns that can be consciously reorganized to create new experiences. When you visualize, he explained, you are literally rearranging the quantum field of possibilities around you. One of the most surprising discoveries for Sophia was learning about the role of the body in this process. Your physiology, Miguel emphasized, is a bridge between your consciousness and the material reality. When you visualize, your body must be fully immersed in the experience. During the practices, Sophia learned to identify and release the physical tensions that hindered her ability to fully visualize. She realized how years of doubt and fear had created patterns of tension in her shoulders, neck, and jaw, areas that, when relaxed, allowed for a freer flow of creative energy. The sessions often concluded with grounding exercises, techniques to bring the energy from the visualizations into the present moment. Sophia learned to create specific sensory triggers, a gesture, a word, or even a particular breath that could instantly reconnect her with the emotional and energetic state of her visualizations. As she continued her practice, Sophia began to notice subtle shifts in her daily life. Colors appeared more vibrant, synchronicities became more frequent, and she started to recognize opportunities that had previously gone unnoticed. It was as if her eyes were finally adjusting to perceive a more expansive reality that had always been there, waiting to be seen. In her current work, she began to apply the principles of visualization on a smaller scale, imagining successful presentations, productive meetings, and projects flowing effortlessly. The positive results she started to experience served as confirmation of the power of this practice. One evening, during a particularly profound session, Sophia had an experience that transcended mere visualization. For a moment, she wasn't just imagining her future office. She was there, fully present in a reality that felt as solid and real as the present moment. This experience left her with a visceral understanding of what Grinberg meant when he spoke about the holographic nature of reality. What you experienced, Miguel explained when she shared her revelation, was a glimpse into the true nature of consciousness, its ability to transcend linear time and access different possibilities of reality. This is the true power of multisensory visualization. As Sophia deepened her visualization practice, Miguel introduced an element that at first seemed counterintuitive: anticipatory gratitude. It's not enough to simply visualize what you desire, he explained one particularly significant evening. One must feel gratitude for this, as if it were already real, for gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. This idea finds support in the discoveries of quantum physics regarding the nature of reality. As Dr. Joe Dispenza often explains in his work, when we enter an elevated emotional state, such as gratitude, we literally alter our vibrational frequency, allowing us to align with higher possibilities of experience. Sophia began to incorporate the practice of gratitude into her daily routine, but not in a superficial or mechanical way. She learned to cultivate a state of deep gratitude that started with the small things: the first ray of morning sunlight, the taste of coffee, the smile of a stranger on the subway, and gradually expanded to include things that had not yet manifested in her physical reality. Every morning, even before opening her eyes, she began dedicating a few moments to feel gratitude for her consulting office as if it already existed, for the clients she had yet to meet, and for the team she had yet to hire. This practice started to create a subtle yet profound shift in her energetic field. Miguel explained that anticipatory gratitude works because it operates on a quantum level, transcending the limitations of linear time. When you genuinely feel gratitude for something, he said, you are essentially tuning your vibrational frequency to the reality where that something already exists. It's like tuning a radio to the exact frequency of the station you want to hear. This practice began to influence every aspect of Sophia's life. She noticed that the more she practiced gratitude, the more reasons she found to be grateful. It was as if the universe responded to her frequency of gratitude by multiplying the blessings in her life. In her current role, she began to feel gratitude for the challenges that once frustrated her, recognizing them as opportunities for growth and preparation for her future endeavors. This shift in perspective began to alter the dynamics of her professional relationships in surprising ways. One afternoon, during a particularly challenging meeting, Sophia found herself feeling deeply grateful for the opportunity to develop leadership and conflict resolution skills, precisely the skills she would need as a future entrepreneur. To her surprise, this internal shift in perspective led to a creative solution that impressed her superiors. Gratitude also began to transform her personal relationships. She developed a newfound level of appreciation for her support network, family, friends and colleagues who often unknowingly were contributing to her journey of transformation. This genuine gratitude started to attract even more support and unexpected opportunities. During one of the study group sessions, Miguel shared a powerful technique, the Future Reality Journal. Sophia began writing daily entries as if she were already living her desired reality, expressing detailed gratitude for specific aspects of her future life as though they were present gifts. "Dear Journal," she would write, "today I am deeply grateful for yet another inspiring day at the office. The meeting with our new international client was an absolute success, and seeing the sparkle in the team's eyes as we presented our creative proposal filled my heart with joy." As this practice deepened, Sophia began to experience what Miguel referred to as gratitude synchronicities, seemingly coincidental events that appeared to directly respond to her frequency of gratitude. Opportunities started to arise, unexpected, connections formed, and small signs of confirmation began to appear in her daily life. One of the most profound experiences came when Sophia started to feel gratitude, not just for what she wished to receive, but for what she could give. She realized that her dream of having her own business wasn't solely about personal fulfillment, but about how she could positively impact the lives of others through her work. As Sophia progressed on her journey of conscious manifestation, she began to encounter internal resistances she hadn't anticipated. Deeply rooted fears, persistent doubts, and limiting patterns that seemed to sabotage her just as she was about to take significant steps toward her dreams. Michael had forewarned about this moment. The process of manifestation, he explained, inevitably confronts us with our shadows, those parts of ourselves that we deny, suppress, or try to hide. It is an invitation to integration and healing. It was during an especially intense meditation that Sophia encountered her first major internal obstacle, a deep-seated fear of success that manifested as a persistent inner voice. "Who do you think you are to dream so big?" This voice, she discovered, was an echo of past experiences, of messages absorbed over years of social conditioning. Working with the shadows, as Sophia learned, required a different approach than positive visualization. A conscious dive into the depths of one's being was necessary, a process Carl Jung described as making peace with the inner demon. Miguel introduced specific techniques for working with the shadows, rooted in principles of depth psychology and ancient spiritual practices. One such technique was the dialogue with the shadows, a process through which Sophia learned to give voice to her denied parts and listen to their messages with compassion and curiosity. During these sessions, she discovered that her fears, though seemingly destructive, held wisdom and valuable insights into her deepest needs for security and validation. Every shadow, Miguel explained, is a part of us that was repressed because, at some point, it seemed dangerous or unacceptable. But when we allow ourselves to engage in dialogue with it, we find that it can become a powerful ally on our journey. Sophia began to notice patterns in her self-sabotaging behaviors. She observed how often she downplayed herself in crucial meetings, procrastinated on tasks essential for her growth, and unconsciously sabotaged opportunities that could bring her closer to her dreams. The work with her shadows proved to be a profoundly transformative process. As Sophia learned to embrace her denied parts, a new strength began to emerge, not the strength of denial or control, but the strength of integration and full acceptance. Chapter 5. The Alchemy of Action. After months of intense inner work, Sophia was ready for the next step in her journey, the transformation of her internal visions into concrete action in the external world. Miguel introduced the concept of aligned action, actions born not from fear or obligation, but from a state of deep alignment with her purpose and vision. The manifestation, he explained, is not merely a mental or spiritual process. It is a dance between the unseen and the seen, between intention and physical action in the world. This understanding was supported by Grinberg's theories on the interactive nature of reality, where consciousness and matter are in constant dialogue. Sophia began to identify and take small, concrete steps toward her dream. She enrolled in a digital entrepreneurship course, started building her online presence, and initiated exploratory conversations with potential clients and partners. Each action, no matter how small, was carried out with complete presence and clear intention. Sophia learned that the quality of energy with which she carried out her actions was just as important as the actions themselves. It's like alchemy, Miguel explained, where your consciousness transforms ordinary actions into catalysts for change. Chapter 6. The Power of the Collective Field. As her journey progressed, Sophia began to realize that her personal transformation was inextricably linked to the broader field of collective consciousness. Grinberg's theories about the neuronal matrix, a unified field of consciousness connecting all beings, took on new relevance in her experience. Through the study group, she discovered the power of collective intention. When several people came together in meditation or visualization with a shared purpose, the results seemed to manifest more quickly and with greater synchronicity. We are part of an infinite web of relationships, Miguel explained. Every shift in our individual consciousness creates ripples that affect the whole. This understanding brought a new dimension of responsibility and purpose to Sophia's journey. As Sophia neared the fulfillment of her vision, events in her life began to align in ways that defied probability. Chance encounters brought exactly the connections she needed. Opportunities arose at the perfect moment, and even apparent obstacles revealed themselves as blessings in disguise. Miguel explained this phenomenon through Jung's concept of meaningful synchronicity, seemingly coincidental events that carry deep personal significance. When we align with our highest purpose, he would say, the universe conspires in our favor in ways that our rational minds cannot foresee. The final chapter of Sophia's journey was not a happily ever after in the traditional sense, but rather an opening to new levels of possibility and understanding. Her consulting office finally came to fruition, but in a way that transcended her original visions. She discovered that the true miracle was not merely in the fulfillment of her desires, but in the person she had become throughout the process. Her journey had become a living testament to the power of consciousness to shape reality, and her story began to inspire others to explore their own untapped potential. The greatest power, Miguel shared in their final session together, lies not in getting what we want, but in becoming the kind of people capable of manifesting our highest dreams while serving the greater good. And so, Sophia realized that her journey of manifestation was, in truth, only the beginning of a much grander adventure, the ongoing exploration of the infinite potentials of human consciousness and our ability to co-create with the universe. Sophia found herself standing at the threshold of a new phase in her journey. Her consulting firm had evolved into more than just a successful venture. It had become a hub of transformation for other entrepreneurs who, like her, sought to align purpose with prosperity. On a particularly significant morning, as she watched her team work in harmony, She reflected on how every aspect of her life had transformed since that fateful encounter in the subway. Her relationships had deepened, her physical and mental health had flourished, and a constant sense of peace and purpose now permeated her days. Miguel, who now frequented her office as a guest mentor, smiled as he saw her contemplating her creation. "The true miracle," he said, "is not merely manifesting our desires, but becoming a channel through which others can awaken to their own creative potential." Sophia began to integrate the principles of conscious manifestation into her consulting services. She taught her clients to visualize their goals with crystalline clarity, to cultivate profound gratitude for the process, and to act from a state of internal alignment. The impact rippled outward like waves across a lake. Clients reported transformations that extended far beyond professional success, healed relationships, restored health, unlocked creativity. It was as if the field of possibilities Sophia had accessed in her own journey was now expanding through her to touch other lives. On a special evening, gathered with her original study group, now expanded and transformed into a vibrant community of conscious co-creators, Sophia shared a profound revelation. The universe does not merely respond to our individual requests, but to the collective frequency we generate together. When we elevate our individual consciousness, we elevate the entire field. This understanding marked the beginning of a new phase in her mission. Sophia began to develop programs that combined principles of conscious manifestation with practices of social impact. Her vision expanded to include not only the transformation of individuals, but of entire communities. The work with the shadows, which once seemed like an obstacle on her journey, became one of the most powerful tools in her arsenal of transformation. She helped others see their fears and limitations not as barriers but as gateways to a deeper power. "Every challenge we face," she often told her clients, "is an invitation to expand our awareness and access new levels of possibility. There are no real obstacles, only opportunities disguised as problems." As her influence grew, Sophia began to notice an intriguing phenomenon. The less she focused on her own desires, and the more she devoted herself to serving the collective awakening, the more abundance and fulfillment naturally flowed into her life. Miguel smiled when she shared this insight. "This is the true secret of co-creation with the universe," he said. "When we align ourselves with the greater purpose of elevating collective consciousness, we become a channel through which the infinite can freely express itself." The synchronicities in your life have become so frequent that they can no longer be dismissed as mere coincidences. It was as if the universe was constantly affirming the alignment of your actions with a higher purpose. On a serene morning, seated in her office overlooking the city, Sophia reflected on her entire journey, from the initial awakening to the impact she now creates in the world. She realized that the true power of asking the universe lies not in fulfilling personal desires, but in becoming a conscious instrument through which the divine can manifest its highest purposes. And so her story continues to unfold, no longer as a personal quest, but as part of a grander tapestry of collective transformation. Every individual who crosses your path becomes a part of this ever-evolving story, each challenge an opportunity to further expand the realm of possibilities. She discovered that the power of asking the universe is, in truth, the power to open ourselves to being used by the universe in ways that surpass our limited understanding. It is the power to become conscious channels through which the miracle of existence can express itself in increasingly elevated forms of creation and manifestation.